Hi everyone and welcome back. I'm Nicole and you are here at Connect with Life, where we speak all things about reclaiming your inner oracle. And if you want to know what that means, please go and watch some of my other videos. So in today's video, we're going to be diving deep into something that a lot of us carry quite quietly in our hearts. It's soul work really, and it's about forgiving our parents. It's not just about letting go of the past. It's about truly, really forgiving them so that we can move on, that we can reclaim our power, we can reclaim our voices, and we can actually move on to reclaiming our inner oracle so we can rewrite our own narratives and move forward. Then this is a place for you. We're going to go deep, we're going to go gently, we're going to do it together. Let's dive right in. The collective that I'm speaking to today this will resonate with you quite deeply, and I do feel that I'm probably speaking to those that were born in the 70s, 80s, 90s even. This is about us really forgiving our parents, not just saying the past is the past, let's forget about it, not just saying, oh, it's okay, but like literally deeply, soulfully understanding what we perceive as their flaws or what we perceive that they did wrong, and forgiving them so that we can move on and we can show up as better parents in this world to our own children, or our nieces and nephews, or our friends' children. So the key is to learn to forgive, not bypass, okay, not just excusing, not just sweeping under the rug, but literally, deeply, soulfully forgiving. Because here's the truth, okay, they had no idea what they were doing either. Reason number one why we should forgive our parents: they were working from a broken handbook. Let's just call it what it is. Our parents inherited a deeply patriarchal, fear-based, outdated manual for life. Okay, full of guilt, full of shame, full of survival mode beliefs. And most of them would never have stopped to question that because they weren't given permission to question that. They had to follow, from their parents, they had to follow the rule book. And we know as generations go on, things change, and this handbook didn't change. This handbook was handed down from their parents to them. They handed it down to us. Some of us have handed it down, or parts of it down, to our children. But times have changed, and we're still working from this outdated manual. We were told things like we should be seen and not heard, that don't cry or complain, you need to be strong, crying is for the weak. If you work really, really hard, you're going to be rewarded. To make money, you need to work hard, you need to get a really good job, you need to study hard, work hard, dream small, be safe. We all know what I'm talking about because we all heard it. But what we should have been told are things like, your feelings are sacred. They are relevant, no matter what your age. I'm talking about when something triggers you at whatever age and you feel it very deeply, those feelings should be acknowledged. Not the feeling of saying no to having a sweet, or no to having an ice cream, or going out. Like really, when somebody does something or says, and it really triggers us, or like for example, I was born with a real fear, of fire. I was really scared of being burnt alive and being tortured. Now at 3 or 4, that is an unnatural feeling. Obviously now, since I've been doing my work, I understand that was part of the witch wound. But of course I didn't know that then. And my parents didn't know that. And they didn't know how to help me. So I was just told I had overactive imagination and I was being silly. But I was really petrified and fearful. Okay, going back to things that we should have been told, things like your feelings are sacred, your voice matters. Okay, your soul is here to expand, not to shrink, not to conform and fit in. But then here's the truth. How were they going to teach us, and how were they going to lead us when they weren't taught and they didn't know themselves? You can't blame somebody for not knowing what they don't know. Let's sit with that for a while. How could they teach us when they did not know themselves? Right. Reason 2 why you should forgive your parents. They were still plugged into what we term today as the matrix. And what is the matrix? It's an illusionary system that is designed to keep people in loops of fear, competition, disconnection from nature, blind obedience, exhaustion, never-ending cycles, overconsumption. And that's just to name a few, okay? But those are the big ones that we all know, we've all experienced, I am sure. They were never taught to connect with the earth. They were never taught to connect with their breath. They were never taught to connect with their intuition. They were never taught how to regulate their nervous system, or that it was actually a thing. And they were never taught to trust their inner knowing. So that is connecting to your intuition. They were taught very regimented ways of being and doing things. What they were taught were things like you need to trust authority. You need to trust religion. You need to trust the government. And you need to trust everyone else externally from yourself that tells you what to do, that's in authority, your managers, the boss, the owner of their own business. You need to trust everybody but yourself. And it's kind of sad when you sit and think about it. It's like awful. And so then we were born, these crystalline, intuitive, energetically aligned beings, and our parents didn't know what to do with us. Literally. They did their best. I know that my parents did their best to try and understand me, but they didn't quite get me. And they really did think that my thought processes and the way I did things were alien. It was foreign to them. Reason 3, religion. And yes, even the Bible was a tool of control. I know this one's a little spicy, but let's be real. Most of what we are taught from religion, especially the westernized interpretations and adaptations of the Bible, they were all rooted in control, suppression, and disconnect from divine feminine wisdom. We were told things like, God is outside of us. You were born sinful. Suffering is noble. And being poor is a good thing, because then you'll be rich once you're dead and you get to heaven. Obedience is holiness. Men are the leaders and women must submit. Does this all sound familiar? And I'm not talking from nonsense. I myself, I was raised in a Catholic household. I also experienced being a born-again Christian. And so I have heard all of these. I have experienced these. I have believed some of these things. Okay? So going back, what we should have been told were things like, the divine lives within you. You are born whole. Joy is sacred, natural, and should be sought after in abundance. We are born to live a good life here on earth, not to suffer. Your intuition is the voice of God that is within you. Okay, these are things that we should have been told. But our parents didn't know any better, because it's not what they were told. So the problem isn't faith. It's not about having faith. Okay, I think faith is a good thing. To believe in something is good, something bigger than yourself, something magical. It's good. The problem is the distortion. It's the editing of the ancient truth to fit into a patriarchal, power-hungry and greedy narrative for our society. That's where the problem is. So we are starved. We're starved of connection to the earth, of connection to our bodies, of cyclical time, of spirit in all forms. I think it's changing. It definitely is changing. We can see a movement. A lot more people are waking up. A lot more people are searching. A lot more people are becoming more spiritually awakened and aligned. But we are. I mean, if you are told this since you were born, it's hard to break the mold and to come out of it. Like I say, for myself it was difficult, and I only really started following my true path from midlife. Yes, I wish I had done it sooner. Yes, I wish I had been more open sooner. But you need to remember that I was born with a lot of gifts, and I was fearful of them because I didn't know how to use them properly. I didn't know what they were. And of course, my parents, in their limited way and beliefs, molded me in a certain way. I was brought up in a Catholic household, and we went to church regularly and all that. So I was molded in a certain way not to speak about those things. Those things were demonized. And then when I was a born-again Christian from my teenage years, up into my 30s, those sort of things were still demonized, and I didn't want to let that out because I didn't want to be bad. I didn't want the devil to feast off my energy and use me in a bad way. And so I hid all of that and I fought against it. And it's literally only, as I said, like sort of midlife, so in my 40s, that I started working and doing the work and actually understanding and going inwards and doing the inner work and the shadow work and bringing all of this out, that I realized it actually wasn't bad. It's not bad. It's actually what's made me whole, and it's what made me a whole person, and it's what made me understand that there's so much more. There's so much more, and the world is beautiful, and we're not meant to be here to suffer. We are not meant to live small, shameful lives. Absolutely not. Right, okay, before I go on a whole another rant, let's get into reason 4 why we should be forgiving our parents. They didn't know how to hold our emotions. And the reason being because nobody held theirs. Oh, that makes me sad. So let's be honest, most of our parents had no clue on how to emotionally regulate, because their parents didn't know either. And so if their parents didn't know and weren't able to teach them, how would they know? And if they didn't know and weren't able to teach us, how do we get there? Okay, through our spiritual awakenings, through the communities that we now connect with. But back then, they did not know how to handle our meltdowns, our fears, our sadness, our sensitivity. So they felt overwhelmed, they felt fear, and what did they do? They shushed us. They punished us. They ignored us, because what else could they do when they couldn't keep us quiet? And what we really needed to hear in those moments were, I see you. I feel what you're feeling. I understand it. You are safe to express how you are feeling. And nothing you're feeling is wrong. Again, I'm not talking about the spoiled feelings that we get when we don't get our own way. I'm talking about deeper emotional things. So that's what we really needed to hear. But what we did hear instead were things like, go to your room, stop crying, you're too loud, you're too much, you're misbehaving, stop. That's what we heard. And so we disconnected from our own inner wisdom, because when we felt those things, when those feelings came up, when those warning signs came up, we were told that we need to ignore them, and so we thought that we were wrong and our parents were right, and so we disconnected, and so our inner oracle went very quiet. And then we learned to stop trusting our feelings, start second guessing ourselves, and also we learned that love is where the wound began, because we loved our parents so much, because we listened to them out of love. And because it eventually did hurt us to some extent, we thought that's where the wound began. But it, as you can see, as you're talking, it goes further back. So don't hate on your parents, people. They were doing the best that they could with what the tools and the understanding and the teachings at the time. Do you understand? It was such a different time, really it was. So now we get to number 5. The world shifted, but they didn't keep up. This is really important. So I've just touched on that on my little rant before this. So we are living in a vibrationally different world to the one that our parents grew up in. The shift has happened, things are speeding up, totally different. The way that we think, everything is different. So if we want to shift and continue to shift into the 5D consciousness, which I'm sure you've heard lots of things about, there's lots of people on YouTube that talk about it, you can go and have a listen to someone explain it. The shift to the 5D consciousness is about heart-centered living. It's about soul-aligned purpose. When walking in that soul-aligned purpose. And it's about embodied wisdom. Reconnecting with your inner oracle, knowing that the wisdom is in you. The gifts, the talents, the wisdom, your roadmap is in you. You just need to learn how to read it and how to activate it, because we've switched it off. Or we've dimmed the switch. It's like one of those light switches, you can go bright or dim. We've turned ours right down. It's so dim you can't even see anything. So we were born into a new timeline. But unfortunately, our parents are trying to raise us on an old, outdated timeline. And the rules no longer apply. So the rules that applied to them, or they were happy, or I wouldn't say happy with, but the rules that they were encased in and grew up in, they no longer apply to us. So there would have been rules like, get a safe job and just do it even if you hate it. Just continue to do it until you die. because you need to be safe. I mean, let's be honest, people, we all know that there's no such thing as a safe job anymore. We see all the time, you think you're in a job, you think you're in a career progression with some form, some institute, and people lose their jobs, get laid off, made redundant all the time. But I regress. We don't talk about emotions. Oh, too messy, too uncomfortable, too difficult to untangle, and it's not manly enough, or it is rude, or it's not good manners to bring up your emotions. So we do not talk about emotions. Just deal with them by yourself and come back. We only want to see happy, smiley people. That's it. Happy, smiley people with high vibes. That is it. Eek. So damaging. I mean, there was still that whole move when everyone was doing the secret and the manifesting and only think good thoughts. If you think a bad thought, whatever you're hoping for is going to go away, which is not true. Let me tell you, it's not true. But that created that whole rise of, what do they call it? Like toxic happiness or toxic high vibes or something like that. Things like your worth is based on your achievements. The harder you work, the more you're going to get. The better you are at school and the cleverer you are at school, the more you're going to succeed in life. If you're not going to succeed. It was competition driven. It was, you need to be working hard. Everything was around effort. It needs to be effort. If you don't put enough effort, you're not going to. And yes, it is for some things. You need to put some effort in to get something out. You can't just sit there with your hands out and hope for the best and hope that everyone's going to give you something, because that doesn't work either. But the thing is, you don't have to work as hard, push as hard, and be totally competitive. There's space for everybody, and you're here to lead a good life without working as hard as you think you should. When you are aligned and you lead in a soul-led life, things happen a lot easier. They really do, because you are getting guided by your internal wisdom. Your inner oracle is speaking to you, guiding you, telling you, and you actually do lead a much more fulfilled, happier existence. You really do. In the 5D world, worth is intrinsic. Work must be soul-led. Connection is currency, and intuition is wisdom. Right, so now we get on to the juicy bits. How do we forgive them? How do we forgive our parents? Here's the thing. Forgiveness is not just a word. It's not just saying, okay, that's fine. Forgiven, done, forgotten about. It's okay. It's about freeing ourselves from the loops of blame, resentment, victimhood, all those energetic loops that we have got ourselves into, we need to get ourselves out of. It is for us to do the work. It's about freeing ourselves. And it's about becoming the parents that we needed. And becoming the parents that we need to be. Let's start. Number 1, witness the humanity. You need to look at your parents not as the authoritative figures as they once were, but you need to look at them as the children that they once were. The children who were wounded and who were afraid and who were told and molded in a totally different way to how they should have been. But now that you understand, you can look back at them and recognize the damage and the hurt that they went through as children. Number 2, we need to speak the unspoken. I know that some of you are going, oh, that's all. Okay, so what do? We need to journal. We need to pray. We need to meditate. We need to write letters that we will never send. But what we need to do is we need to give voice to the things that hurt us. We need to give voice to the things that kept us small or led us down to where we are. Voice to the things that we thought and think. Not thought, think. Present, think that our parents did us a disservice in how we have actually ended up. It really is sacred to tell the truth, like the honest truth. And like I say, it depends how brave you are and the kind of relationship you have with your parents, but if you're not brave, journal about it, understand it, bring it out into the open, and write a letter of forgiveness to your parents. Write a letter that you'll never send. Journal about it in your journal. Pray about it, meditate about it. Speak it out. Speak it as though you were speaking to them out into the open, but only have yourself in the room. Does that make sense? So so what I'm trying to say in that very convoluted sentence is, speak it out aloud when you are alone. Okay? Number 3, reparent the inner child. your inner child. So you need to tell them what they never heard. You are enough. You are loved beyond measure. And I think a lot of us were told that anyway. But maybe we need to change it as in your true authentic self. The true authentic you. We see you. We love you beyond measure. Your dreams matter. They're not silly. You want to be an artist and create beautiful works for people to enjoy and bring happiness to their hearts. That is wonderful. Not very many people have that gift and talent. Go for it. You want to be a singer and create beautiful music that stirs people and speaks to people's souls. Beautiful. Go for it. You want to be a politician because you want to change the world. Go for it. Good luck with that. Stay the path. Stay true to yourself and remember what you said, but go for it. You are safe. You are safe. You are safe to dream. You are safe to be. You are safe to speak. You are safe to voice. You are safe to be yourself. You are safe. Oh, gives me the chills. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Number 4, connect with your inner oracle. This is big for me. I do a lot of work on reclaiming the inner oracle. This is my soul-led purpose and path. Quick plug. Check out my bio below for my website where you can see the courses that I run. You can join the Facebook community, Reclaiming the Inner Oracle. Okay, really, really worth a visit. Right, getting back to it. Number 4, reconnecting with the inner oracle. How do we do this? Meditation, breath work, working with the mentor that can guide you, doing some courses, being still, stillness in nature. Your inner oracle, they are waiting within. The wise voice of your soul is waiting for you to reconnect and waiting for you to turn up that volume dial so you can hear them. They've been with you all along. They've never left you. We've just forgotten. And we've forgotten how to listen for it. We've forgotten what the sound of that voice is. But we can always connect, and this is a beautiful thing. Number 5. I keep wanting to do this, but that's 10. Number 5. Choose a new story. Change the narrative. You're allowed to. You can. You're not a one-dimensional being. You're not only got one interest, one path. So change your narrative. Change the story. One where you're not the victim of your lineage. You are the healer of it. You are the bridge. You are the way shower. You stand up. You break the generational trauma. Write the new story. Be the new story. Be a new legacy. That's the conclusion. You're going to be a new legacy. We didn't come here to repeat timelines, people. We came here to alchemize them. What is alchemy? Taking one substance, mixing it up, putting a little bit of magic in it, and coming up with a different outcome, a different substance. That's what we are here to do. We are all alchemists in various ways. We're not all here to do the same work, because the world needs a lot of people in different avenues, different career paths, different ways of speaking, different ways of showing. Just going a little bit off topic here, but just to say that people hear you in different ways. So let me just quickly talk about that. So some guru might say something, some nugget of wisdom, and somebody doesn't get it. But then they tune into my channel and I say the same thing because it's the truth. It's a true. The nugget of wisdom is a truth, and it's great, and I share it. But I share it in my own way, with my own voice, the tone of my voice, the way that I speak, the way that I explain things. And somebody will go, "Oh my gosh, ding, 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 light bulb moment." I totally understand that. So the world needs lots of people. The world needs lots of coaches, lots of healers, lots of spiritual coaches. There is space for us all. So, sorry, just went on a little tangent, but I'm back now. We are here to alchemize the timelines. We are here to shift the timeline. We are here to return to the rhythm of Gaia. We are here to reconnect with our inner oracle. We are here to connect with the energies surrounding us, the energies of the universe and the wisdom of the stars. Okay, sounds a little bit woo. I'm allowed to say that because I am woo. But But when you feel that ache, when you feel that calling or that ache for more, or that something needs to change, or that there's something that you need to be following, you need to pause. You need to pause, you need to hold your heart, and you need to whisper, I forgive you, and I set myself free. So when you feel trapped, like you want to pursue something, and you have been told that that's not good, or no, that's not going to make you any money, or that's not a noble pursuit, or whatever that's been told to you, stop. I forgive you. I know you were just trying to keep me safe, but I free myself. I set myself free. And then go and explore that. Go and tap in, go do a meditation, go to a journal, go walk out in nature somewhere, go sit somewhere in nature and feel and listen to your inner oracle, and see where they're leading you, what path they're leading you down. It's very exciting. It's very exciting. So remember, you are the oracle. You are your own oracle. You are the guide. You are the guide that you have been waiting for. And your children, and whether they are born spiritual or ancestral, will now inherit a healed legacy because you woke up. Isn't that beautiful? That is amazing. All because you chose to wake up, you chose to heal, you chose to forgive, you chose to see that you're not stuck, and that you are able to forgive your parents because they didn't know. They were trying their best for you. Don't hold it against them. Thank you for being here with me today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being brave enough to go and do the work. It is sacred. It is healing. And you are doing it every day. Every day you make that choice, and that little tweak, you are choosing to do the work. Please share this with someone that needs to hear it. And if it cracks something open in you, know that you are not alone. Ever. You have so much around you and energetically with you. And if you want to feel part of a community, please head over to my Facebook community, Reclaiming the Inner Oracle. We'd love to welcome you and have you there. And until next time, stay grounded, stay sovereign.